Monks can be more than a damage dealer. Imagine an enemy just out of reach, but you summon phantom hands to pull them in. Or archers hiding behind cover, only for you to throw that cover back. And you still get to do your awesome martial arts. Cause today, I'll show you a new monk subclass I designed that uses phantom hands to control the battlefield and suppress curses. I'll explain its core features, then use the action cam to demonstrate how it works. This is my wife is DMC, I'm V, and let's take pop culture to pen and paper with today's homebrew, the Warrior of the Phantom Grasper. This subclass is inspired by Ayase Momo's cool psychic and occult powers from the anime Dandadan. It's a shonen romance battle anime set in modern times where aliens have infiltrated humanity to extract bananas. Look, it makes sense in context. Meanwhile, a group of teens use their occult powers to unearth urban legends, tangle with aliens, and navigate their feelings. Momo is the leader of this group and one of the two main protagonists of the series. She's a headstrong high schooler with a love for the classics while still engaging in Japanese gyaru culture. But you don't need to know the series to enjoy the subclass. I just wanted you to get the feel for the character since we'll be looking at the Phantom Grasper through the lens of a level 6 monk. So let's do a quick character sheet. This will come in handy for the action cam later. She'll be a level 6 Phantom Grasper monk taking the human species. Her high school student slash gyaru background doesn't have a perfect D&D equivalent, but the closest I can think of is entertainer. We'll also take tough as her human origin feat, which makes sense in character considering the amount of punishment she can take in battle. Finally, for her level 4 ASI, let's increase her dex and whiz by 1. Her stats look like this. This isn't optimized by any means, but I wanted to make something that's closer to Momo's character. I'll give a more optimized build later, but for now, let's take a look at some of the Phantom Grasper's features. At level 3, you get the subclass's 2 core features. The first is Spirit Sight. This lets you cast Detect Evil and Good, and you gain more spells as you reach higher monk levels. You can cast it as a ritual once per long rest, and any succeeding casts eat your focus or key points. Spirit Sight also has a cool ability. While concentrating on a Spirit Sight spell, you can see curses within 60 feet of you. This includes cursed people, cursed items, and even cursed places. The rules on curses are a little obscure in 5e, so I added references in the document. The next core feature is Phantasmal Hands, and this defines the Phantom Grasper's core identity. But instead of telling you how it works, how about I show you instead? If that sounds good to you, well, are you comfy at the table? Let's see how the Phantom Grasper plays in... Welcome to the action cam. Momo and her friend Okarun find themselves captured inside a busted, if barely operational UFO. It must be a Tuesday. They're currently surrounded by the Serpo, a monogendered race that seeks to procreate by harvesting a human's banana organ. Unfortunately, Okarun's curse from Turbo Granny, long story, is going haywire and might attack Momo if he fails his wisdom saving throws. Momo sees the numbers against her, so she'll try to thin the opposition and take the attack action. Before she makes any attacks, she'll use one focus point to manifest her Phantasmal Hands. Then, she'll replace one of her attacks and use Poltergeist Throw. She lifts a nearby truss with her Phantom Hands and throws it at a bunch of Serpeians hiding behind it. The two aliens are crushed under the large metal truss. Momo sees another alien attempting to activate the UFO's internal defenses. For her second attack, she'll use the grapple option of her unarmed strike using her Phantasmal Hands. The alien's approach is stopped by Momo's Phantom Hand. As part of failing the saving throw, Momo pulls the alien close to her and uses her bonus action to make one unarmed strike. Momo made quick work of 3 aliens from the get-go, leaving only 1 scout and their leader. She'll use her 1 free interaction and use her Phantasmal Hands again to move a bunch of debris to make some cover. Okay, that was Momo's turn. Let's break down the features she just used. Phantasmal Hands is the second core feature of the Phantom Grasper, which lets Momo manifest a pair of ghostly hands. These have a reach of 10 feet and uses her wisdom to calculate their carrying capacity. Each hand is considered medium-sized, but becomes collectively large when both hands are used to carry, drag, lift, or push the same object. Much like curses, carrying capacity is another of 5e's rules that don't come up often, so I made sure to add references in the document. Poltergeist Throw is one of the benefits granted by Phantasmal Hands. It replaces one of your attacks to throw any object within the hand's reach and carrying capacity. In terms of damage, it's not that much stronger than your usual unarmed strike, but the object's size can potentially hit more than one target. The second benefit of the Phantasmal Hands is Spiritual Force. This lets you grapple or shove using the Phantom Hand's 10-foot reach and adds half your Wisdom modifier to the DC. And just like you saw in the action cam, you can pull creatures close to you if they fail to save. The lone Serpeian underling uses Graviton Shove in an attempt to slow Momo down. The girl is hit by a sudden shockwave, but manages to brace against it. The UFO's leader, the Serpeian Banana Extractor, makes a T-shape with its arms and fires a force beam at Momo. The alien couldn't thread the beam through the debris that Momo placed there. It instead moves to get a clear shot. And it lands cleanly on Momo as she tumbles towards Okarun. Momo looks at the boy as he writhes in pain, trying to fight back against his curse. Okarun shifts into a grotesque form and attempts to take a chunk out of Momo with massive crooked teeth. This would have dealt massive damage to Momo, but she commands one of her Phantom Hands to block the blow using deflect attacks and bracing palms. Momo didn't expect Okarun to snap at her. To suppress his curse, she'll take a bonus action and use Hexbinder. As a protective aura manifests around her, Okarun shifts back to his normal self. She then approaches the remaining scout and attempts to dispatch it with her martial arts attacks. Momo used a few more abilities this round. Bracing Palms is a benefit granted by the level 6 Protective Hands feature. When you use a deflect attack reaction, you add your Wisdom modifier to the total damage reduction. Another ability Momo used is Hexbinder, which is also a Protective Hands benefit. This costs a hefty 3 FP, or 2 if you're concentrating on a Spirit Sight spell, and it requires 1 free hand to function. But in exchange, you conjure a 10-foot aura around you, which offers quite a few defensive benefits. In Momo's situation, it suppresses the effects of any curse, which means Okarun no longer has to make any saving throws. But in any other situation, the aura grants a bonus to any intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws equal to your wisdom modifier. The Serpeian Banana Extractor finds themselves alone, but notices Momo suppressing Okarun's curse. They'll try and separate the two with a pair of beam attacks. The alien's aim is razor sharp, blasting Momo several feet away from Okarun. The boy immediately starts convulsing as the curse takes over. But knowing Momo's ability to suppress curses, Tobogranny wills Okarun to attack the Serpeian instead. The cursed boy takes a chunk out of the alien with a raging bite. Momo moves closer to Okarun, suppressing the boy's curse once more. It's just the lone alien left, and Momo is just about sick of this flying dump. With one final kick, she punts the strike creep through the walls of this vessel. It's just the two teens and a crashing UFO now, and while the immediate danger has passed, neither of them has any knowledge of how to land a spacecraft. I didn't take the most optimized approach to building Momo as a Phantom Grasper monk, but if you want to use it for yourself, here are some optimization tips. First is background. Definitely opt for Scribe or Sailor, since they both allow adding the character creation bonuses for Dex and Wiz. If you're more into non-combat stuff, Scribe gives you the skilled feat for more proficiencies. But if you want to optimize for combat, Sailor gives you Tavern Brawler. This feat lets you roll ones on an unarmed strike and lets you push targets for free once per turn. For your level 4 feat, I'd still recommend focusing on maxing out Dex and Wiz. But if you want something with more options, Grappler feat works really well. It lets you grapple at the same time you hit with an unarmed strike, which synergizes well with the Phantasmal Hands bonus to the DC. It even grants advantage to grappled targets. So who's this character for? The character fantasy of playing as Ayase Momo is certainly there. But if you also like to play as a cool battlefield controller while still dishing out the same damage and mobility of a monk, then this is definitely right up your alley. But if you want to hear it from a player's perspective, here's what MC has to say.
I think the Phantom Grasper offers a cool utility-based playstyle, because it integrates the environment into your toolkit. I feel like it can push players like me to really think out of the box. Spirit Sight leans into the monk's ability to punch beyond the veil, so now they can see ghosts and hit them. I can also see some teamwork potential, which doesn't always play out easily at the table in my experience. A lot of people I played with focused on skills that gave them individual hero moments rather than aiding the group. V and I talk a lot about how limitations inspire a lot of creativity, so features like the Phantasmal Hands open up a lot of space for creative play. Personally, I'd use the Phantom Grasper for heavy exploration. I love exploring settings, and the subclass lets me get into places buried under heavy stuff, especially since I usually dump strength. And Spirit Sight lets me look into potential lore that would have otherwise been exclusive to clerics or paladins who can see into ethereal stuff. I just love how all-around the Phantom Grasper is. It has defense, mobility, utility, and hey, putting it on top of base monk features gives it enough power for me to hold my own.
If you made it this far, thank you very much, and I hope we earned your like. But real quick, I have 5 cool things I want to show you, so just stick around for a little bit longer. 1. You can find a Phantom Grasper document linked in the thingamajig. 2. The link has a light version that gives you all the features until level 6 totally free. 3. We have a cool Trello board where you can keep tabs on what I'm working on and what might be coming up next. You can even vote on it. 4. You can get huge shop discounts if you sign up for our Ko-Fi or Patreon membership. The $5 tiers even get you early access and free access to all our shop items. Becoming a member also grants you access to our exclusive Discord server. And 5. You get to be among these magnificent mallards who keep this channel afloat. Let's welcome back MC to thank our courtly mallards.
Hello! It's the Mallard Quen, and we'd like to hand it to these very special mallards. Game Gamer Gamer Gaming, Storm Starshine, Yggdrasil 88, Bryant LW, Coinop 1989, KV, Piku, and Cosplay Battle. And hands up for our Mallard Nobility, Hectic Planet. Thanks so much for watching this far, everyone.
I am halfway through my rewatch of Exade. It's gonna be there when it's ready, so please be patient. But in the meantime, I'm in a position to start designing for Gav already, so that might actually come before Exade does. By the way, this is my second Dandadan video. If you want to see my take on the series' other main protagonist, you can check it out right here. Until then, my wife and I hope you have a great day ahead.